If there was one message worth taking away from this year's legislative session of the Missouri General Assembly, it's that successfully bucking the status quo is a near Herculean task. That might be surprising, especially taking into account all the grandiose talk of change we all heard over the last election cycle. But those who have watched the legislature gestate over the past few years were probably not surprised, with incremental gains and static reigning supreme. Consider, if you will, a cap placed on the historic tax credit program was derided as meaningless by those seeking to alter the incentive to refurbish old buildings. A bid to change how some judges were selected went nowhere. An effort to mandate coverage for medical ailments related to autism spectrum disorder failed to pass. And a plan to repeal a prohibition barring utility companies from passing on financing costs of new power plants went down in flames. In all of these cases, powerful interest groups mobilized to shoot down these proposals. Reining in historic tax credits, for example, was adamantly opposed by some in the development community. The Missouri Bar Association and other legal groups loudly condemned any alteration to the Missouri Nonpartisan Court Plan. Insurance companies weren't exactly keen with being forced to cover ailments related to autism. And while the reconfiguration of CWIP was pushed by the powerful utility company Ameren UE, it was opposed by brawny businesses fearful of higher electricity rates. Depending on the point of view, you might be either ecstatic or forlorn with these results. You may believe that in some cases, lawmakers pushing these aforementioned plans were simply presenting a solution in search of a problem. But constituent opinion was only one factor in the failure of these initiatives. Another big factor in the decision-making process was the role of organized interest groups. Certainly, the trend wasn't absolute. There were significant laws passed this year, especially those bundled in big bills dealing with crime, education, and the judiciary. And to be fair, many entities targeted through legislation are defending their turf. Few would expect big companies to have rate increases thrust upon them without vigorous protest. But for those who are expecting the rhetoric of hope and change and hope to magically wash away power in the Missouri General Assembly, it was not to be. Still, it often takes time before effectual legislation makes it to the finish line, and it's possible that the interim will bring about compromises that all sides and all groups can stomach. But it just takes that time and overcoming steep obstacles to accommodate substantial adjustments. I'm Jason Rosenbaum.